Hey everyone, welcome back to our Atomic Habits series. I'm absolutely pumped to be here today because we're diving into part 4.
And I am so excited. This is the part that completely changed how I think about building habits. We're talking about the third law of behavior change. Make it easy. And trust me, this is going to blow your mind.
So after we learn to make it obvious in part 2 and make it attractive in part 3, James Clear moves us to this incredible concept. The core idea is beautifully simple. The easier a habit is, the more likely you are to do it. The harder it is, the less likely. Habits absolutely thrive on simplicity and convenience.
Yes, and here's what really got me. The more friction you remove, the more automatic the behavior becomes. It's like magic, but it's actually science.
Okay, so let's talk about something that will completely shift your perspective. Forget about motivation. Focus on simplicity. Many people think they need motivation to act, like, I'll work out when I feel motivated. But James Clear explains that motivation is unreliable. Environment and simplicity are what truly matter.
Wait, this is so practical. Like, wanna play more guitar? Keep the guitar in the living room, not hidden in a case. Wanna read more? Place a book on your pillow to see it before bed.
Exactly. And want to exercise? Prepare your gym clothes the night before. The less friction there is, the more likely the habit will stick. It's brilliant.
Now, here's something fascinating. The law of least effort. Human behavior follows this simple principle. We naturally choose the path of least resistance. Think about it. Between cooking and ordering delivery, most people choose delivery. Between a shortcut and a long route, we choose the shortcut.
This is such a light bulb moment. So if you want a good habit to grow, make it easier than the alternatives. And if you want to break a bad habit, make it harder. It's so logical when you think about it.
And here's how you actually do it. Prime the environment. One way to reduce friction is to prepare your environment so good habits are ready to go. Want to eat healthy? Wash and chop veggies ahead of time. Want to work out? Put your shoes and mat out the night before.
Oh, and here's a clever one. Want to watch less TV? Remove the batteries from the remote. A prepared environment equals an easier habit. This is so simple, yet so effective.
Now let me tell you about something that completely changed my life, the 2-minute rule. James Clear says, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes. The key is to scale down big habits into very small gateway actions.
This is incredible. So instead of read every night, you do read one page. Instead of do yoga, you take out the yoga mat. Instead of run every morning, you put on running shoes. Instead of eat healthy, you cut one piece of fruit.
Yes, and here's the magic. Once you start, momentum builds. Small beginnings lead to big progress. It's like you're tricking your brain into success.
And this leads us to gateway habits. These tiny habits act like gateways to larger behaviors. Putting on workout shoes often leads to actual exercise. Writing one sentence can lead to writing a full page. Turning off the TV may lead to reading a book.
I love this concept. Start small and let the gateway open the door to consistency. It's like having a secret entrance to your best self.
Now, here's another game changer. Automate good habits. Another way to make habits easy is automation, letting systems do the work for you. Set up automatic bill payments or savings transfers. Use a grocery subscription for healthy food. Use apps or reminders for water intake or step counting.
This is brilliant because automation eliminates decision-making and removes friction. No more willpower required. The system just works for you.
But here's the flip side. Breaking bad habits by increasing friction. The reverse is also true. Make bad habits harder. Want to reduce social media use? Delete the apps or log out. Want to watch less TV? Keep the remote in another room. Want to eat less junk food? Don't buy it in the first place.
More friction equals less likelihood of repeating the habit. It's like putting obstacles between you and your bad choices. So smart.
Now let me share some incredible real-life stories and examples that will absolutely amaze you. First, Japanese railway workers. They announce each task out loud, like, signal is green, speed is 60. This reduces mistakes because actions become automatic and friction-free.
That's incredible. The lesson here is to make actions simple, clear, and routine. And here's another mind-blowing example: automated savings. When people set up automatic transfers from their paycheck to savings accounts, their savings rates skyrocketed.
The lesson there is that automation turns habits into defaults. It's like making good choices the easiest choice available.
All right, let's do a complete summary of part 4, because this is so important. First, motivation is overrated. Simplicity and environment design are stronger. Second, follow the law of least effort. Make good habits easy, bad habits hard.
Third, prime your environment to reduce friction. Fourth, start small with the 2-minute rule. Fifth, use gateway habits to build momentum. Sixth, automate whenever possible. And seventh, increase friction to break bad habits.
And here are the closing thoughts that really tie it all together. The third law, make it easy, reminds us that lasting change doesn't come from massive effort. It comes from making good habits so easy that they're impossible to ignore.
You know what I find absolutely fascinating about all this? It completely flips the script on how we think about willpower and discipline. Instead of trying to be stronger, we just make things easier.
Exactly. It's like we're hacking our own psychology. I'm honestly blown away by how simple yet profound this is. The idea that we can design our environment to automatically lead us to success, that's revolutionary.
And what really gets me is the 2-minute rule. I've started using this myself, and it's incredible how often those 2 minutes turn into 20 minutes or more. It's like giving yourself permission to start small, but then momentum just takes over.
Yes, and the automation aspect is just brilliant. When I set up automatic savings, I literally forgot about it for months, and when I checked, I was amazed at how much I had saved without any effort or willpower.
That's the beauty of it. It works even when we're not thinking about it. This whole concept of making good habits the path of least resistance is just game-changing. James Clear really nailed it with this third law.
Absolutely. And that's the end of part 4, Make It Easy. In our next episode, we'll explore the 4th law, Make It Satisfying. Why rewards and positive emotions are essential for making habits stick. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Remember, start small, remove friction, and make those good habits so easy they're impossible to ignore. We'll see you next time.